Hi, welcome to Action 8 News. I'm your host, Ben Benson. This is Perry Weinsooner. We're here to talk to you about Islam, the magical religion of the Middle East. Now, most people don't know a whole lot about Islam, but to have an understanding of it, you must understand their 5 main pillars.
Right, you are, Ken.
Thanks, Perry.
Anything for you, Ken?
The 5 pillars of Islam are not identical between the different sects of Islam. Shiite Muslims actually believe in more than 5 pillars. It's more like 15. But we're going to discuss the main 5 pillars because those are prevalent in all the different sects.
Right, you are, Ken.
Thanks, Perry. The first one is testifying to the single God, and that is simply saying that their God, Allah, is the one and only God. To do this, they have an action known as shahada, which is a sentence they must say with conviction. The second pillar is all about prayer. They must pray 5 times a day at dawn, noon, mid-afternoon, sunset, and night. Directly to God. There's no intermediaries in Islam.
You're saying there are no intermediaries, Ken?
No, it's very unlike Christianity.
Very interesting.
Direct link to God. The third pillar is about giving zakat, which is charity. In this belief, they believe that God owns all wealth, all objects, all property. And so you are simply given the wealth by God. You are borrowing it. So you must give it out. You must be charitable. You must give it to the people in your community. And you must be a good person. The fourth pillar is about fasting during the month of Ramadan. During this month, the Muslims do not eat, have sexual intercourse, say profane language, or do other unclean things from dawn until dusk. Except, of course, if it's dangerous to your health. But in order to do this, when they do this, they become closer to God in their own way. And the last pillar is called Hajj, which is a pilgrimage to Mecca, which many Muslims do in order to fully connect and form a direct link with Allah by pilgrimaging to the city of Mecca. What do you, Perry?
Ken, how important do you think this is to the Muslim people?
Well, Perry, seeing as they're called the 5 pillars of Islam, and pillars normally are used to support a structure,
Very true.
I would think that the pillars are pretty important.
Yeah.
We've received a lot of calls in over the phone lines asking questions about Quran,
Ring, ring.
Islam, and their relationship with other religions such as Judaism and Christianity. Well, let me tell you something right now, mister. Islam, actually, the Quran teaches respect towards those other religions. Though some have been violent, I'll tell you what, it teaches respect. Now let me tell you something, Ken. A question that's been frequently asked. Christianity sees Jesus as their Messiah. But Islam is not such a way. Islam recognizes Jesus, but more as a prophet than a Messiah. So, very interesting part is that they do not think that Jesus resurrected. He only ascended.
Well, interesting.
Very interesting part of this whole dilemma is that though Islam tries to be peaceful with the other religions, sometimes they get into arguments. For example, Islam shared some holy land with Christians, and they fought over it in things known as the Crusades, you may have heard of. And, since these Crusades were very violent, but, they tried to be non-violent. But even over time, for such time as 5 Eva, which is known to be longer than 4 Eva. Now, Islam tries to be peaceful with these other religious groups, specifically Christians. And, now, in our time, only the radical groups are the ones fighting. And the thing is, Ken, that the radical groups are skewing the Quran. They are just taking the words and picking out the specific words and trying to just distort it till it becomes violence. What do you think about this, Ken?
I think distortion is the root of all evil.
The distortion is the root of all evil. Moving on to our next topic.
Now that you've learned about the Quran, why don't we learn about the Quran's author, the man known as Muhammad. Muhammad was an orphan cared for by his uncle, who grew up and became a caravan merchant in the Middle East. Now, in his time as a caravan merchant, he would often go out to caves to be alone and to pray to his God. Now, one time, during those secluded prayers, he came upon the angel Gabriel. Now, the angel Gabriel, or so he claims, said to him a long series of passages and laws for living life under his own God. He wrote down those passages, and he started teaching them to people.
And so, the religion of Islam was formed. Nowadays, Muhammad is not normally depicted in artistic works, as they did not want his image to be used as an idol or a false god. They want him simply to be known as the prophet and leader of their religion. He was the last great prophet for at least most sects of Muslims, and nowadays he is revered. Not worshipped, but revered.
Welcome to Action News.
Action news on the action.
Action.
Now, here's the thing. Phones blowing up. I'm telling you. They want to know. The people want to know what is the popular view on Muslims, Islam, etc. Let me tell you, it's not good. It's not pretty.
Not good.
There's a lot of extremists
That's right.
and a lot of Muslims that don't think of the welfare of many. But let me tell you something right here. Not all Muslims are terrorists. You know? You're taking the many. You can't just take the many based on the actions of the few. You know? Correlation does not always mean causation. Now, why is this happening? Why is this happening?
I don't know why it's happening.
Ken.
Harry.
This is why it's happening. The media.
We're going to be taking some calls.
Some calls.
Ring, ring, ring. That's a phone. Yellow.
Hi. I'm just wondering, if the Muslims treat their women so terribly, why should we, as Homo sapiens, not treat them terribly?
You know what? I'll tell you why. Because the Muslims, not all Muslims treat their women terribly. Just like any other Christian denomination has their group of men that treat their women terribly. Muslims may have some, but it doesn't account for the entire population.
There will certainly be some sects that definitely treat their women poorly, but there will be some sects that treat them well.
I would say most treat them well.
Very
You
interesting.
see, in the Quran, though it does not always portray women as totally equal to men, for the most part, women are said to have the same souls and the same connection to Allah as men.
Really?
So this should be respected. And they also lay out guidelines for punishing men that oppress and treat women poorly. So really, it's a common misconception. Goodbye from Action News Channel 8. I'm Ben Benson, and this is Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher.
Signing
Not my
off.
name. It's not my name. We
Good
can't do
night.
that. We're not. No. Cut it. Cut.